What is the strangest, coolest, or funniest way you found out a girl liked you? Story 1. She texted me, "Hey, can I ask you a weird question?" I said yes, and she replied, "Never mind, ask me in 5 minutes." I am not a coward, so I asked, "Do you want to go out with me?" Life tip, you will be amazed, but if a woman asks if she can ask a random or weird question, it means she has been thinking about it for weeks. Story 2. She was just a pretty girl on the bus, definitely out of my league. One day the bus was very crowded, and we were standing very close to each other, so she just put her head on my shoulder and looked at me. She said, "Can I stand like this the whole ride? I am comfortable with you." She was my first girlfriend ever, so that was nice. Story 3. She brought me sandwiches to school every day for a month. I had absolutely no idea why until my buddy explained it to me. The only thing on my mind was, free food, nice. I interpreted it as her thinking my parents were too poor to feed me well, and she felt sorry for me. Story 4. I seemed to hit it off with a girl from my hostel when I was in Warsaw at a party, but I was not 100% sure she liked me. She asked for my phone to text her friend to let her know she was okay because her phone had died. Then she went to the bar to get us drinks. Naturally, I read the text, which was something like, "It is me. I am with a cute guy from our dorm. This is his number. Tomorrow at 11 in the old town, so do not wait up. Fingers crossed and wish me luck." Story 5. The next day I missed my train to Berlin. I was at a bar, and a girl I thought was way too cool for me came over and started a conversation about the sports team logo I had on my t-shirt. She offered to buy me a drink and then started flirting. I stood there dumbfounded and could not connect 2 words. She stood there for a couple of minutes and left. My friend, who was with me, called me a colorful name and asked why I did not keep the conversation going. I felt so stupid. Story 6. In college, I lacked confidence. I asked a friend who never had trouble with girls for advice. He said the next time I see a girl I like, I should ask her something crazy. Like, "What color are your panties?" I rolled my eyes. Terrible advice. He said, "Just try it." I did not believe him. Later that evening, I was talking to a female friend, telling her about this terrible advice I received. She asked what it was. I said, "Well, what color are your panties?" She said, "Black." Next year we are celebrating our 10th wedding anniversary. Story 7. She made her friend corner me by the school lockers between classes. "Hey, look, that girl over there likes you, you have to ask her out." After a week of my hesitation and more than a little patience on her part, I finally asked her out. Now we are engaged. Story 8. I was sitting next to my friend who was with his girlfriend, and he had his arm around her. I decided to make a joke, wrapped my arm around the empty space next to me and said, "Yeah, I have a girl here too." After that, a girl who had been hinting for a long time that she liked me, slid under my arm and smiled. Being a ladies' man, I laughed awkwardly and said nothing. Story 9. I had been talking to this girl for a few weeks and thought things were going very well. We were both going to the same party, so I called her and asked if she needed me to pick up anything to drink. She told me what to get and asked how much it cost so she could pay me back later. Hoping for our first kiss, I said, $8, but you can just pay me back with a kiss. She replied, "Oh, $8? Okay, I will pay you back at the party." I did not expect to be rejected like that, but that is fine. I went to the party with no intention of talking to her, but she was hanging around. At the end of the night, she hands me $8, and I say, "I think that is better than the other option, right?" Confused, she says, "What other option?" Turns out my phone died right after I said $8, and she did not hear the rest. She quickly took her money back and chose the second option. We have been married for 2 years. Story 10. I went with a girl to a farm fair. She wanted to look at the rabbits, and when we approached, one of them squatted and started doing its business. During the process, it kicked its mess with its hind legs, and most of it landed on us. She was in a stupor for a whole minute while I tried to find napkins, and then she said, "Well, the moment cannot get any worse, but I want to date you." Story 11. I was at a street party. A cute hot girl turns around, smiles, and asks for a lighter. Being a gentleman and a stupid idiot, I hand her the lighter and smile politely in return. That is it. 20 minutes later, some dirty guy asks her for a lighter, and she pulls one out of her purse. And they start chatting. Never felt stupider. Story 12. I was 15 years old, and I never had a girlfriend. I was wandering the streets with friends one Halloween evening. My friends ended up meeting a group they knew, and we continued walking together. As we walked down the road, one of the girls just grabbed my hand and would not let go all evening. Then she stepped away somewhere, and her friends caught me and started asking, "Do you like her? You know, she thinks you are cute." Well, being a kid, I just said, "I do not know, probably." Obviously, I liked her, and I was just amazed that the stars were falling at my feet. At the end of the night, we walked back to the cars, wished each other sweet dreams, and she quickly kissed me. Long story short, she was my first girlfriend, and we dated for about 2 years. Story 13. The summer before college, I worked at an amusement park. One day I was working next to a cute girl. We chatted a bit during our short break. Talked about where we were from, pets, what cars we drove. She finished work a couple of hours before me. We said a quick goodbye, and I went back to work. When I was getting ready to go home and started my car, I noticed a scrap of paper under the wiper. She left her phone number and invited me to hang out that evening. Story 14. Once, unexpectedly, I received a long message from a girl saying that she was not looking for a relationship at the moment because she had just broken up with a guy and the breakup was very painful. I was upset but respected her wish. After a while, she called me and explained that among her friends there is another person with the same name as me who is trying to flirt with her, but he is weird and she does not like him. She accidentally confused me with the other guy in her phone. She apologized and said she likes me too. We have been dating for 5 years. Story 15. She invited me to go to a dance with her just as a chaperone. I liked her, but I agreed to go with her just as a friend. I tried to keep my hands to myself and respect the just friends rules. When I dropped her off at home, she kissed me. Many years later, she told me that the whole evening she was hoping I would take the initiative, but got tired of waiting, so she took matters into her own hands. Story 16. I was chilling on the grass during an outdoor festival when a girl literally jumped on me and said, "Oh my god, I saw you at the pub in town, you have to meet me at the camping area later." I went to the camping area later, but there were 5,000 people or so I never saw her again. Story 17. I fell in love with a girl I went to college with. She invited me to her parents' house to watch a movie. I arrive with 2 bottles of wine, we enjoy them and watch the film. Then we go upstairs to go to sleep, and she says that when her parents are not home, she sleeps in their room, not hers, but as a guest, she allows me to sleep in either of them. With my chicken brain, I thought I was being tested and had to choose one of the options. I say that sleeping alone in her parents' room is kind of weird, so I choose her room. She looks very confused, says okay, and we go to separate rooms. A few months later, one evening I met her, and she asked why the hell I was so slow. I still did not understand what she wanted and explained my logic. She laughed and told me the other side of the story. Girls, we are very dumb. Please just tell us what you want. Story 18. I am a barista in a small coffee shop. One day I was working, and suddenly I was called out to the floor where my roommate and a very cute girl were sitting at a table. I sat down with them, thinking, oh my god, what does all this mean? I looked at the girl, she blushed and laughed cutely. I turned to my roommate and asked, bro, what is going on? He smiled and said her name and that she likes me. And quickly buried his face in his phone and started typing something. I look at her again, and now she is just smiling and making eyes at me. I tuck my hair behind my ear, just frozen with my jaw dropped. In my head, it was, say something, ask her name. You are acting like a weird silent maniac. I finally say hi and we start talking. Turns out she and her friend, whom I knew, found my social media account and got to my roommate. We exchanged numbers and met a couple of times. Story 19. Her friend invited me on a date, but actually, I was supposed to go on the date to meet her there. A typical college party in a big city, on a roof we were not supposed to be on. The owner called the police. Cops came and sat us all down by the garage in the alley. The owner was there, making a scene about how angry he was that people were on his roof. The cops got distracted dealing with this idiot, and I turned to the pretty girl next to me and said, do you want to get out of here? We just walked down the alley and spent a whole month together. Story 20. Back in college, I was hanging out with friends. A cute girl I knew from class who lived a couple of houses down came up to me and said, hey handsome, could you lend me your t-shirt? I did not think much of it, said sure and led her upstairs to my room. When I turned around to give her the shirt, she had already taken hers off. I gave her the t-shirt and went downstairs so she could change. She left quickly and never spoke to me again. Only a few weeks later did I realize what an idiot I was. Story 21. I was at a friend's wedding. Her cousin asked my friend, he is super cute, is he seeing anyone? When I was leaving, we did not talk at all, but made eye contact a few times. I was flattered but not interested. My friend texted me the next day, my cousin thinks you are cute. If you want, I can give her your number. She was a few years older and attractive. I am still convinced she had a little too much to drink and just accidentally said it. I met her a few years later at a party, and she did not recognize me. Story 22. I went to a concert with a friend, and at the last second he says, I invited a girl, do not hit on her, I think I have a chance. So I acted normal, but thought she was funny and cool. At the end of the night, she asked for my number. We have been together for 10 years. Story 23. We had a freshman pep rally, and as part of the evening, you had to call out the name of the guy you like right from the stage. Most people chose to stay silent, but she called my name in front of 200 people. I am just a regular guy, and I was embarrassed and shocked by all the attention. Story 24. She slapped my ass very hard in the middle of class. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you do not miss new super interesting discussions. In the meantime, we suggest you watch our other videos.